Hello, armchair generals. Tom here with yet another exciting Japanese episode of my campaign in Hearts of Iron 3 using the Black Ice modification 10.43. It's just an ongoing gameplay at this point here. I didn't quit the game, but normally what I will do when I start Hearts of Iron 3 is save immediately within the first couple of hours of game time here. If it doesn't crash, then I know I've got a good gameplay ahead. Where we left off, we'll start in the West real quick. Europe, is conquered. What they've done historically. Um, Currently, Italy and Germany are at war with Greece. Greece actually was pushing into Albania. It looks like now that the roles are reversed there. Nothing has changed with Yugoslavia at this point. I mean, I am anticipating civil war sometime in a few months, I believe. Maybe this episode, maybe next, wherein Germany will come in, conquer it, puppet, separate the Yugoslavia into its different puppet nations, and then help Italy push into to Greece. Italy actually was pretty well, not pretty deep. I mean, they were up to here roughly, just outside. I can't remember if they actually had Marsa or not. They may have had it, but it looks like now the tide has, as I expected, reversed. Italy has a huge force here, and why they never do well enough, I don't know. It might be because England is just has higher tech than Italy, I believe. Abyssinia, that's actually doing pretty good. They took care of their the Northeast. England has a presence here. They already took care of that. Italy, as I was thinking they'd have to, took care of their Northwest thrust that Britain was doing here. So now they've got all this taken care of. This is all non-traversable terrain here, all around here as well too. So it doesn't really matter. That's France. France, and this is Vichy France. Okay. France is kind of sandwiched in between its allies here, and we probably won't see them do too much here. They only have this province because it's, I believe, an area that you can't move into, and since they own the provinces nearby, that province defaults to them. Um, they Italy had pushed a little bit south here, I'd seen, but now that tide reversed. So, as anticipated, with the Abyssinia, anytime I play as Italy, I'll typically puppet it, but I only ever will leave my colonial troops there if I decide to hold Abyssinia. I'll move my forces en masse back up to Italy, usually to kind of split between Libya and move into Albania for a Grecian campaign. Moving eastward here to Asia, where of course everything is more important for us. We're attacking Xinjiang. We've actually taken pretty much all their provinces right now. These aren't changed over because we can't. These we can move into, but we killed the army that was over here. They were at zero organization probably for so long they didn't have supplies. As soon as we tapped them, they were dead. We are attacking their capital, not to take it, but we're wanting to gain some experience for our troops. All of our troops are pretty much attacking at this point. We got more that'll be, he's going to come in there and do that. He's going to then swing there. We want all our troops that are involved here to be attacking and gaining experience. We got tons of width to play with here, so everybody can join in. Everything else is as is. Kind of recap here. I've got several puppets. Manchukuo, Menjiang, of course, the ones that Japan pretty much always gets. We're helping Manchukuo be the best puppet it possibly can be. We're giving them everything that we can, pretty much. There was one event where I elected not to do both IC and money hits to myself in order to give them some extra resources or whatever, just because it wasn't equitable. We just selected the money hit instead to give them the extra resources that were needed. Puppeted Zibi Sanma, puppeted Yunnan because of a bug or something that happened to where I could not, even though I had selected such, I could not puppet China here, China Nanjiang, and keep the coastal area. So we're just keeping all of China at this point now. We're puppeting Yunnan because there's really not much value in this area compared to what I would have to have in here to defend. And Zibisema has a large army. Um, I'm using them to kind of be a buffer against Mongolia. We attacked Tibet so we could maintain war footing, and we're attacking Xinjiang so we can keep doing such. This way, you can see we actually have, once those spawn penalties go away, we'll have well over 450 uh, IC available to us. But we have a good two-thirds almost of our IC going into production, and we are going wild with this production. Lots of upgrades. We just selected all of our air units, put them up there for upgrades, and everything that's getting built now as far as air units is also getting immediately upgraded too. So kind of a poor situation in that regards, where I'm having to spend a lot more time on air units to get them fully upgraded to the level that they need to be. But it is what it is. We'll deal with that. We've got a couple of IC we're building here because both Seoul and Shanghai got heavy manufacturing, heavy industrial plants on each of their provinces. We elected to put our infrastructure not towards shipyards this time, but towards our uh, resources, I guess. It gave us a couple of extra industries and also gave us two heavy industries. So we're building those provinces where they have heavy industry. We're now building those out to max, because heavy industry gives you a 50% bonus to your IC. So Seoul, once it's finally completed out with its IC that I'm building, it'll have 15 IC available to it, not the 10. So very very handy, especially for late game, mid game especially too. That's where we're kind of getting into right now. As you can see, lots and lots of upgrades here. Should be finishing up this summer for the most part. Spring, we're definitely awaiting a lot of that, a lot of those upgrades to wrap up there. We still have a lot of builds going onward as well. Um, we've got another round of destroyers I'll be finishing up this summer, and then the final round should be finishing up before winter time, I believe. Battleships coming out this next year, summer of next year, roughly fall as well. So we got a couple more fleets that'll be ready by then. These are all these CAGs are just strictly reinforcements for losses and things like that. I got a bunch of naval bombers coming out here. The Junyu and Hayu will be coming out. It says summer. That's right, because we are not focusing on build speed for the IGN right now. Or no, we are focusing on build speed. We focused on the on manufacturing, and thus that imposed a penalty to our build speed. These would have been done in May, April, May, I think, of next year, and now they're going to be done in July, summer of next year, which that will probably change because I believe my plan is going to be in January 42, focus back on IJN. I just need a kind of bit of a IC hit, if you will, a couple of IC added, so you can kind of boost our current builds and be able to make sure that we can continue building as and upgrading as we need to. So I think these will kind of speed up a little bit once we get into 1942. And we got another light carrier group as well. They'll be done spring, shortly after our war. So we'll have a dozen carriers by the time we have war engaged with the United States, and then another almost half dozen more coming out in 1942, and hopefully more. I'm hoping that my builds and IC goes up a bit more to where we go down further in the queue here, and then I'll throw another couple carrier fleets in here as well to build. Tech, that's going along pretty smoothly here. Um, we've got a few technologies that'll be dropping off this month here and next as well. I'm seeing a bunch of March there as well. So we'll be dropping down further into this queue a bit more here. I am going to focus. I start off the year just kind of, and the end of last year, just making sure that all my tech that I could get what and needed was being selected. But as we start dropping down to the point where I need to select more technology, I'm going to focus again back on the naval forces strictly, because we need to ensure that our forces are ahead of the game, or equivalent, I should say, to the current year in technology. We don't want to be I don't want to be sailing level one destroyers up into America there. So carrier hangar, logistical warfare. That's 42 tech. So that's two things that dropped off there. Um, we're going to keep this up so I can kind of keep a weather eye on it here. Carrier torpedo. Let's see. So 41 tech. If anything that's 42 or newer, we need to drop off. So we had three more up here, there, and a couple of those actually dropped off there. It's actually looking pretty. I mean, this battle's looking pretty good. Looks like it'll. Well, several of these units are going to fade away pretty soon here. There were 21 units, and it looks like almost all of their headquarter units, except for this army group, has faded away. Um, yeah, almost all but that one, and there's several that are going to be fading away too. So this battle will actually wrap up this month easily. Radar for capital ships, 42 tech. I'm glad to see the tech coming up the way it is. So 12, 10, 8, 7. Let's see what we got up here. Does anybody want to buy energy? I don't want to buy anything from anybody because I'm actually doing pretty good. Even though we're red with metal there and it's dropping, I'm doing okay. Anti-air, that's 41 tech, so we'll go ahead and just leave that as it is. Production, you drop this off. I'm going to drop the upgrades down to 60 at this point. Again, it'll catch up as it churns through. I mean, I'm spending 60 IC in upgrades, so the AI is going to be upgrading my troops and ships and whatnot that are still out here that are needing upgrades. Um, as it goes through those, the need is going to be dropping and dropping further and further until I'll get to the 60 mark again. Then I'll go ahead and kind of readjust again one more time. I want some more IC popping up in here. Yep, there we go. That's what I was kind of waiting for, is to make sure I start going down to my land forces I need. Anti-air ammunition. Oh, we already did that. That's right. Rebels everywhere. So this is an event that, I mean, it just happens. I don't think I can, even though I have units all over that are providing suppression in the immediate province and surrounding provinces. And if we look at revolt risk, you can see the yellow. Well, there's some orange where I have guys, but the yellow is where definitely my units are. Yeah, this is definitely bad areas. Is there anything we can do to kind of mitigate that? Let's have you move here. That because you're supposed to provide not only suppression in the province that you're at, but also surrounding provinces. The effect is lessened though, um, and that may only be for select units too. Let's have you move out there into that red area, so that kind of stabilizes a bit. I think. Oh no, so you can actually move there. Okay. Let's actually leave the revolt risk up, and let's see where the units appear. A bunch of guys that we have to kill. So actually, there where it's yellow, well, green is about the only place where I wouldn't be seeing rebels appear. So yeah, the red areas for sure I'd be expecting to see rebels. Okay, let's start killing rebels. They're close enough. I'm going to send them out and back. They've been getting a little bit of experience. They've been hunting down rebels and getting experience from that. We're going to have you support the attack, and you're just going to come in and swing back out. You're going to come out here and then swing back. You're going to go there like so, like so. Okay, so that's those all around there. This is kind of far. Yeah, let's just kind of do that. Um, yeah, he can come down and take care of him. And he will go there and then kind of back as needed. Yeah, he's doing that. That'll be kind of far, but that's all right. Same with him. Okay, so that takes care of all the rebels I have. If they move out, yeah, they'll kind of have to hunt them down. Ooh, before I start pushing away buttons there, yeah. I do have a conflict going on that I need to keep an eye on. I don't want to finish this. I don't want to move into the capital and conquer Xinjiang, because then I'll have to go to peace. No. Yeah, this is wrapping up very rapidly. We're going to pull him off. Um, no, I got a second unit as well there. We'll move him around there because he's that guy. Yeah, actually, he's going to come around to there. I am going to pull them all off at this point here. And we are going to march backwards that way. Oh, that's right. So he actually needs to come like so. Yeah, let me redo this real quick here. We're going to be marching to where that guy is at. So he's fine where he's at. Basically, we just need to disengage our troops from that are engaged in the battle for now. Because I'm just going to leave one, at this point, I'm just going to leave one corps. It's a weaker strength. It's only 4 divisions. Attacking here, that's all I really need anyway. This other group here, they can pull out, and I can get them ready. Yeah, stop the attack and get them ready for future usage. Stop the attack and stop the attack. Okay. So that's everybody now that it's assigned to this corps. Everybody that's assigned to this corps, with the exception of that one guy who's getting a little bit beat up there, is now the only ones attacking. Fighter bomber prototype advance. That's dropping off. We won a victory. Okay, prepare the troops. Snow is falling. Oh, I forgot to see how many people died there and stuff, but that's okay. It's not that big of a deal. So you're just gonna be sitting there. You're gonna be sitting there. You're not gonna move in, and you're just sitting there. So at this point, everybody is either sitting where they're supposed to be, which is this core, and the rest are moving out of the area. We're not going to take that capital. They may, as such, over the coming months here, they may produce more units, and that's fine. I'll just simply attack them again. Oh, come on, settle down there. Something I didn't look to see. Landing craft. Well, actually, we can't upgrade the landing craft or the assault ship. Okay. Obviously, can't upgrade the auxiliary vessels, but you know what? They are level 5. I wonder if they just automatically, or not automatically, but the AI spends IC to get them upgraded. Our passenger ships appear to be. I mean, you can certainly upgrade the passenger ship as well to a seaplane tender. Okay, so no, you can't. These are all rank 3. My passenger ship's always rank 3. I don't know about that. There's Yamato. We need to sail her into Nagoya. And I need to get, I'll be building a fleet around the Nagoya there. Oh, you need, and you also need to get upgraded there. Cool. Okay. Okay, so that's finished up. We don't need to watch it. I'll check that every now and then, every few months, but it's not an urgent thing. Let's kind of keep an eye on how Italy is doing. Iraq is mobilizing. All right. See how Italy is doing here in Egypt. Form. Oh, we lost our low popularity. Now medium popularity. Good to see. Gun turrets. We'll maintain that. Um, we're at 99%. We're going to boost this up to 68 then in that case. And once this reaches 100%, then I'm going to boost this up to 70% or 70, and then I'll still be gaining officers. The goal, of course, will be to try to get to 110%. That I don't think I'll be able to, now without some technology help. What is this here? South Seas Detachment, Brigade Size Force. Yes, I think, well, for all historical units, I'm going to go for them anyway, because that will mean those are units I don't need to build. Plus, I want you guys to kind of see what they are and stuff like that, too. Your mileage may vary, depending upon, what you're doing for a Russian campaign. I probably wouldn't even worry about this. They probably wouldn't be helpful to me at all. That gets us a unit here, which needs to get pulled off eventually. I'll detach a passenger ship to collect them. Oh yes, we have these guys here. I need to fly them up to here. This was an earlier event where I got this unit along with the air units that are there. And if actually we take a look at them, you can see it's a carrier air group, 2 naval bombers, flying boat, carrier air group. So actually kind of a freebie, freebie naval bomber group there. Just need one more naval bomber to kind of round it out properly, but the way I like to have it set up. But yeah, I like the way that's happening. Dropping this down to say 33. And see our upgrades are continuing to drop. Eventually here later this month probably it'll get to that 60 mark and they'll tell me, "Oh, go ahead and you're spending too much in upgrades." And I'll drop this down by yet another 10, for example, put it into production. For historical needs too, it's pretty cool to have a airbase headquarter unit down here in Truck. I like things like that. Oh, IGN, another IJN. Let's have you board. And where else? I sent the last one there. Where next can I send you? Oh, here. You need some beefing up. And we have an oh, you know what? We have an IJAF garrison as well. So let's do this. We're going to go, we'll rebase there. And then after that, we'll send them probably over there, something like that. Okay. I like to leave this open every now and then to kind of keep an eye where my units are. If I got units that just aren't, assigned to a leader, which he's not in this case, we'll assign him to there. Because he is going to get assigned to the truck garrison. Okay, looking good there. Second light infantry, corps. Oh, yeah, okay. Take a look at Greece here. Yeah, Italy pushing in a bit more. Bulgaria mobilizing. Do they join the Axis? Yes, they're now an Axis member. So who do we have now? So Bulgaria is the latest, and that's it. Nothing new otherwise. Interdiction, 1942 text. We'll drop that off. Fighter pilot, we'll leave that on. We can close that out there. 424. Having all over 450. That was nice for that brief time. Defensive, yeah. We'll keep going. That's dropping off there. Single engine armament. We got a couple more landing craft. Where did the one landing craft go? I clicked and apparently put it somewheres. Ruh-roh. Well, we can figure out where it's at by looking. So midget submarine, midget submarine, midget submarine. Okay. Thought I had just built 2 landing craft. I had. So where's the one? I clicked in the middle of nowhere, and it seemed to have disappeared on me. Let's do this real quick. Mountain headquarters, bomber, fighter, ground crew, defensive, fighter, pilot. Okay, this is all tech that we could use here. So I lost a landing craft. I had clicked and by accident clicked again somewhere. So I thought it was like on land or something like that. I don't see a lone. So there's an assault ship. Okay, looking for anything that says one. One. We got a midget submarine. You know, that's what I'm gonna do with these other midget subs too. Scoop them up here. Send them on down there. They'll group together. There's the Yamato, and then there's the midget subs. So I don't know what happened to that one landing craft. I mean, that's the first one I built. You can see I've built 3 landing craft, but I only have 2 new landing craft showing up here. So I have one that just kind of mysteriously vanished because I clicked too quickly, and on the map, somewhere's on the map where it doesn't kind of belong, and it kind of like vanished on me. Troubling. It is what it is. We'll role play and say it was involved in some trials and it sunk by accident. Okay, this is all current tech. So now we need to start researching some tech here. Focusing again on IC and leadership. Anything that's 1941 tech for IC and leadership. Civil defense doesn't do it. Neither does medicine. Though medicine does improve manpower, but we're okay there. Industry. Um, we could use some steel production here at this point, so we'll do that. That's not an IC type tech, but if I keep going down in steel and don't make any adjustments for that, it will affect my IC. If I get below below 0 steel, then my IC will get affected. I'll be having it'll mean that I won't be able to spend as much IC as I should have. Electronics, there's nothing here just yet for leadership. And see, I knew we already had industrial zone organization. So that's everything there. So now let's go naval. Heavy armor forging. Yes, okay, we're doing that appropriately because that helps build our ships. So now let's look at our 1941 tech for our naval forces and make sure that we've got all those selected appropriately. I think we already did this before. Maybe I just did it with subs because I see I have a bunch of 41 tech here that's not selected. Depth charge. All the ones I'm selecting are things that definitely will help me here in the coming times. Landing craft flotilla, yeah. Need to get improved there. We got some carrier tech that needs to be learned. Nothing here in capital, that capital ship here. And this capital ship, yeah, we got a few things. That certainly will help us out. Battleship armor thickness, you betcha. And in cruisers, Light artillery, heavy cruiser armament, bunch of stuff here. Yeah. Cruiser hull shape, engine boilers, heavy cruiser armor thickness, all of these. See, several of these techs already have some points spent into them, and that's from one of my earlier, um, very first minister I had actually that helped out in that regards. And now naval doctrines, 1941 tech, all 1941 tech, whatever it is, it's all going to be coming to of some use here. This is mainly what we're using as Japan, but honestly, all of it is what we're using as Japan. Those extra target choice bonuses, very, very helpful. Yeah, the subtext doctrines as well. Yeah, that's a lot of stuff. So we're already plus 34. We're spending 68. We need 34 more on top of that just to meet what we need there. Yeah, as such, we're going to boost this up to 70. Like I was saying, we're going to do anyway. Once I got to 100% officer ratio, we're going to get to that pretty soon. 163, we just need 1,000 more officers, so that's 50 more days, roughly, that we'll be getting that. There is, if I look on infantry, there is an officer recruitment program that will earn us, I believe this is cumulative. The leadership is not. We would have minus 10% leadership. It wouldn't be minus 15%. Would be combining those two. I yeah, I don't think that actually. I don't think this is cumulative. I think each level it's a 5% leadership loss, um, meaning here we'd be losing 5% for each level, and you would gain 10,000 officers for each level. So by level 3, you've gained 30,000 officers total. The bonus gain is cumulative as it shows here. Let me do my officer research and officer recruitment and push that up. It's going to hurt my leadership, but the upshot is it's going to make sure that my officer ratio gets up to, see, an extra 10,000 officers, that gets us up to 173. That'll get us just about, about 105, 106%, something like that. It'll get us closer to the 110% mark. But the officer gain, additional 60%, that'll be pretty helpful. It's an extra couple officers a day, but it's still kind of helpful. And we'll need it because very, very soon we're going to war with America. We're already at war, I know, but we're going to war with America. Mountain unit training, capital ship surface, capital ship air search. We had one drop off there. I thought I had a, yes, mountain headquarter. We need the mountain headquarter unit. So we need this, thank you. The unit in question, or units in question, it's 2 headquarter units, are up here. So we're going to march them on down. Beppu, sure. Just to kind of set up shop there. How are we doing with our production queue? Pretty good. That still irks me about the landing craft. I mean, I'm producing and I'm building enough landing craft anyway. As you see, we have 2 landing craft. This will be a 3rd, and then all these will be done in June and July. So that'll be 7 by summer, and then the final 4 will probably be built late fall, very early winter, perhaps. So I'll have 11 landing craft and assault ship flotilla, all set up by the time I'm at war with America. So losing the landing craft is just irking me because that's almost 7 IC and time spent, a slot spent in production. That's all. Otherwise, like I said, I'm just going to role play that. Bugging it out like I did, where I clicked too quickly and it dropped it off in the middle of the map somewheres, and I don't know where it's at. Oh, hey, there's a new unit there. Yeah, we'll leave him alone. We'll leave him alone for now. We'll give him a little bit of a breather. Anyway, we'll just say that he got sunk in training exercise or something like that. Not a big deal. Germany declared war on the new enemy Yugoslavia. Kind of knew that was happening. Because Germany's like, yeah, we could help you out in Greece here. Um, Small warship. That's 43 tech, so we can drop that off. I had changed. Normally, the default is you don't get to see what other countries declare when they declare war on other countries. I changed that to show up in my messages there, just so I can have an idea what's happening on this other side of the world. Um, I didn't want to be kind of totally in the dark as what was happening. So we got another landing craft. Not going to click rapidly anywheres, and I'm going to drop him off here. Speaking of then, let's take a look. Two landing craft carries 215 weight. Two of these guys, they weigh a total of 93. So one landing craft actually can carry two Marines. My assault ship flotilla can carry 125. What happens if I throw on a leader type? That's a total of 134, which would be then two landing craft combined together would be needed. Assault ship cannot carry two Marines and a leader core headquarter unit together. I'm thinking here, um, with the Marines I have, who's my heaviest Marine? 88. Yeah, who's my heaviest Marine? You. Yeah, because he's like really staffed out there. He's got a bunch of 87, 87. So two of those would be 174. So I do need to put two landing craft together to be able to carry two Marines at a time. Um, and then it's 41, so that'd be 200, 215 total weight, which would be just what two landing craft are. Okay, then. Mystery solved. So I do need two landing craft in each. I can have an assault ship by itself. That's certainly fine. I can actually combine an assault ship and a landing craft together. I'm thinking of what I need to do here. So um, I've got 8 more landing craft being built. So that's 4 more landing craft fleets that I'll be continuing to build here to carry Marines. So I can combine this landing craft and this assault ship together. So they can carry 200. They're a little more of a heavier duty, so they could carry me, another Marine, and a headquarter unit. Yep, just about. 216s are total weight, and where are you at? 232 is what they can carry. The these are 215, so they would not be sufficient. The others, the auxiliary vessels, obviously 250, 120, 120, 200. Let me let me split this guy up as such. So what do we have now? So long range, 120. Long range, 120. Which reminds me, we need to attach you to that Marine landing force, the Army headquarter Marine landing force. 215, 232, 200. 150, so that's about 2 Marines. 100, that would be to the lighter Marines. I think I got some Marines that are just their weight 44 each. Okay. So I like how that's set up then. Okay. So I will continue my thought process to kind of explain that. This is all behind the scenes, and I apologize for not sharing it till now. My behind the scenes thinking was, do I need to go yet another round of landing craft? Maybe could I cut off one of these or two of these? You know, how many more landing craft do I need? Um, I've got 7 fleets total right now. Quite honestly, the auxiliary ships I don't want to use. Um, Without clicking on their cards, I can just tell you straight out the landing craft and assault ship flotillas are far better when it comes to amphibious invasions than the auxiliary ships. The auxiliary ships are better than transport ships when it comes to amphibious invasions. Modestly so, not terribly great, but the landing craft and assault ship flotilla just light years better. I know I said I wasn't going to click a card, but let's click a few cards here. So that's an assault ship. This is a landing craft, and that's an auxiliary ship. So looking, the auxiliary ship long range is the same as an auxiliary ship. It just has further range, about twice the amount of range there. Which, hey, let's do this upright here. Let's get to auxiliary ship long range. There we go. This way, this way, we take a little bit of a pause here. And this is why my videos are so long. Again, I apologize. I appreciate everybody that watches along and appreciates what I'm doing here. So immediately you can see some differences. Organization for one. The auxiliary ships, like I said, they're the same except when it comes to range and fuel consumption too, because of their range difference there. Um, the regular auxiliary ships, 600 kilometers. The long range auxiliary ships, twice that. Their speed is the same, but the regular auxiliary ships, I don't know why they have a higher fuel and supply consumption rate. You'd figure it'd be the opposite there. And maybe the long range auxiliary ships have like support ships that allow them to have that increased range. That might be why they don't use as much supply and fuel. Maybe I don't know. Comparing the assault ship versus the landing craft, supply ship fuel consumption kind of equivalent there, but the range far greater for the landing craft. The assault ship far greater range than even the long range auxiliary ship. Distance all the same there. Um, the organization 3 20s. Morale 17s, in the teens, in the 20s. Um, Auxiliary ships actually have surface and air detection and sub detection, whereas the my amphibious assault type ships do not. But I try to ensure anyway that anytime I do a amphibious assault, that I've got at least a destroyer fleet. Depending upon where I'm attacking, even capital ships, even a carrier fleet in the same sea zone, just that way they can provide some additional visibility and assistance in that area. Speaking of visibility, our auxiliary ships, none to speak of, and they actually have some. Sea defense, air defense, far greater for our amphibious ships here. Um, no attacks other than sub attack by the auxiliary vessels. I guess they carry depth charges on board. Obviously the amphibious invasion fleet they can't carry anything to really do attacks. I didn't know this, but the amphibious invasion vessels actually have a shore bombardment rate. The assault ships, yeah, based on the picture, they're also larger looking, so they probably have like heavier guns, where they probably just have machine guns on the landing craft. None on the auxiliary vessels. Stronger hull on the amphibious vessels, higher transport capability, amphibious invasion speed. These are slower, much faster. Obviously, no CAG size, and that's really it. I mean, we could look at all the other stuff and see where the tech level is, but yeah, that's in a nutshell. The assault ships, far better overall over anything, with the exception of range. Your landing craft can go further from their port of call. Um, and that's about it. Everything else, the assault ship is better in. So when I'm able to, I have a bunch of landing craft. I've got a bunch of landing craft. Do I really need all those landing craft? Now, that's kind of what I was thinking of too. Is yeah, I need to build up on those landing craft because, quite honestly, the auxiliary vessels they're not gonna be useful at a certain point in time. The island hopping, sure, but for some aspects of the island hopping campaign, I can't use the auxiliary vessels because there's too far to go from one point to another. So that's where I need the landing craft and the assault ships. With that, I will be building the assault ship flotillas next year because I'll be researching it. You can see these two techs here: the amphibious invasion and ship defense tactics. They need to be researched before I can get to assault ship flotillas. Once these are researched, once I get them, and I'm not going to do that till next year, but once I get them, and based on their difficulty, probably done in May maybe. Then I can start researching assault ship flotillas based on its difficulty. It'll be finished probably latter part of 1942. I won't be seeing assault ship flotillas until 1943. As such, I need the landing craft. Um, do I need nearly a dozen landing craft though? That's six. That's six fleets total. I'm gonna say no. We're gonna cancel that one construction. Put a couple more men back. Put a couple IC down. Yeah, and I'm gonna finish these up here. Um, I may revisit this conversation again come June, where once I built these three, that's a fleet and a half. I may look at just then building only this one, so basically I'll just get two more fleets of landing craft. I already spent IC in time in these. I don't really want to negate one more of this or anything like that. Um, though, would it really hurt if I go ahead and cancel that out as well? I mean, sure, that's some time spent, some IC spent that could have been spending on getting my Marines built up a little bit more. Yeah, we'll cancel that out as well too. Okay, so we got two more landing craft fleet coming, which will give us four total that we'll be able to use, plus five auxiliary ships, and I'll just use auxiliary ships for those close in um, island hopping type campaigns. But the landing craft definitely be used in like the attack here in the Philippines, attack on Wake Island for sure. The range there is 753, so I can't even make it with the one auxiliary ship type. It'd only be the long range auxiliary ship that can make it. And I don't have enough. There's not enough of those to make it, so I'd have to use landing craft to attack Wake Island. I could use auxiliary ships from here to Guam. I'll stage my Marines here and attack Guam, so I could use the auxiliary ships there. But I'll use landing craft elsewhere for my attacks onto the Philippines. All right. That all said, and I'm saying that so I can mentally prepare myself for the future here, but also to kind of have it set in stone, as it were. We'll progress further into the year here. 41 tech, which we'll leave. He still has just the one militia who's not even really moving or anything like that. We'll keep it a close eye, though. We got exciting things happening here. Germany's now attacking Yugoslavia. Italy's pushing into Greece pretty well. Small warship, that's 1942 tech, so we'll drop that off. Single engine airframe went away. And we got a couple more things here. So we got a CAG, which I'm just going to throw down here. Wait. I did say I was going to throw it down there, right? Did it put it onto one of my... No. Oh, there we go. Kaigun. Let's rebase you there. Okay. Now let's upgrade you. So it dropped that CAG on an open carrier there. Frustrating. Yeah, all my light cruisers are coming back. My light carriers also came back. You see there the Kazuyari class, rank 6 light carriers. Okay. Which now, if we take a look at our light carriers, that is the same class. Yeah, the Kazuyari. Light cruisers are up to the Katori class. That hasn't improved at all either. So we're not seeing improvements there. Oh, I also have more planes. More planes. We're dropping these guys off here because we're going to round up all of them, and he's going to get upgraded to the naval bomber. So these need to get pushed up to the forefront. And now you see we're all those light cruisers that dropped off, um, and those couple light carriers. Now we're really pushing through our marine builds here. So we'll have one Marine ready just about in time for a war in America. Not quite, because he'll have to spend a couple weeks in reorganization, gaining his org back, because you start at 0 from the build queue to the map. You're at 0 organization. Only historical units get to start with full organization and strength. Builds from the queue, you gotta spend time, and of course reinforcement in getting those guys built up. So that's another advantage too of doing the historical units. Not only are they getting built roughly around the same time or quicker than they would be if you built them yourself, cheaper because the IC spawn penalty is based on a range of how much IC you have. So that way the actual cost of the unit will not exceed what it will actually cost if you were to build it yourself, unless for some ungodly reason you've got like a giganormous amount of IC. Um, I don't think that's. I think it's just based on the range, the percentage amount that you would lose. It varies depending upon how little or how much IC you've got. But also too, like I said, the historical units, boom, you pop them on. They're popped on the map right away in their location, and they start off fully org and full org and full strength. Not so with builds from the queue here. One thing I do need to start taking a look at, I need to start building escorts and convoys. We'll be needing lots of those pretty soon and down the road. Because America's going to start sinking all my all my convoys. We can wait on that though. Army group. I think that's going to drop off small fuel tank as well. We got some more CAG units that are appearing. We'll combine those two together. Again, it dropped it off on on a carrier here. Yeah, you rebase. Hmm. My, I think I need to be a little more careful with my CAG. I think I need to drop them off at a different air base because I think I may have just lost a CAG. So I had two that popped up, and I was going to put them both here and then upgrade them both. Yeah, they're probably in these fleets that are upgrading, maybe. I can't tell. Oh well, something to worry about for yet another day. Not right now. I want to get to the end of March here, call it the end of the episode. Progressing along like a snail. I apologize to everyone for that. I am going to get a little bit swifter here once I get a little bit further into, say, even the summertime. There'll be less I'll be needing to worry about. We're going to drop this down to 40 upgrades now. Yeah, that'll work. Supplies looking great, even though I'm putting less in IC than it says I should have. I'm still green and I'm close to 50,000 supplies. So that's all I care about. Let's run this a little bit, see how far down I go now. That's good to see. On that note, let's go ahead and get some convoys started up here. We'll get 4 going and say 5. We'll do it like that. Give us 200. And escorts, we're also going to do 4. We're going to do like 3. Okay. So that way all of these I can just drop down. That needs to get pushed up. I have a bunch of stuff to be dropping off soon too here. That's good to see. All right. Cruiser surface. Air and twin engine. Okay. Several techs coming through. That's good to see. We have no decisions to worry about, and that's looking good. I just don't want them attacking on an area that I don't have troops at. Aviation. So got a couple things dropping off there. Churning through our tech, still red, but now just 25 away instead of 40 something or 35 something. Fighter ground control advance. Snow eases off. And we're on April 1st. Let me save the game real quick here and end this video. Let's take a quick spin on what's happening here. Nothing of great import throughout Europe. Germany is pushing into Yugoslavia right now. They are going to be taking Yugoslavia pretty quickly, it looks like. Italy's not doing half bad now. Now that they've recovered from their initial losses in Albania, they're now pushing into Greece pretty handily. We're back to our start line. Italy had pushed, I think, up to Marsa, Matrua, and Quara. They had pushed, I think, up to this far, but they got pushed back. Yeah, look, and you can see there's a lot of units that have lost strength here. Yeah. Abyssinia is looking pretty darn good. They've got this pretty well in hand. They're actually now beginning to push back in the southern area here. So they may actually be holding it. And we've pretty much eliminated the enemy, with one exception of militia that just appeared. We'll attack him pretty soon and just kill him. The main idea is to attack and kill units as they appear, just to gain experience. I'm hoping to kind of wait a little bit more, see if they get more units, wait a couple months, as long as they don't push out, which I don't think they will. I really doubt, even though there's an empty province here, I really doubt the AI would take the opportunity to move into there and leave their capital open. That's like a stupid ploy. I'll keep an eye on them, though, because I don't want a spare unit popping in here and then making that kind of maneuver. I'll want to go ahead and crush them. Otherwise, we're doing a pretty good job all around here. Thank you everybody for watching. Next episode will be a little more exciting, I promise. We'll be pushing further into spring and summer. My hope would be to get even to the very vestiges of fall there, maybe September, where I want to go ahead and do my reorg. I'll kind of start that at the end of next episode. I'll start the reorg of my units there here, about 100 of them or so, 100 dozen, and getting them assigned to their proper leaders and things like proper headquarter units and things like that. Set up the leaders. I'll be going through all my leaders from my army to kind of rearrange them. I'll start that at the end of that episode, next episode, and then carry on with the rest of it off camera, because that'll just take far too long and be far too boring to watch. But otherwise, we're going to be marching along with that. Also need to start doing some further builds, like say my Mountaineers. I need to get them started up because the Burmese campaign will be starting probably about this time next year. I want to say it's about February, March that the Allies would typically declare war on me and attack. We'll be taking Siam roughly around the time that I'm attacking on America. So I'll need to begin to move forces into here and get ready to attack in Burma. That's when I'll definitely need my Mountaineers, mountainous terrain, and jungle all around in here. So exciting things coming. Appreciate everybody hanging along with me on this fun ride, and we'll see you guys next episode. Take care.